Today we're getting started early. Early. We got a lot to finish with Microwin. Today is the day we make Windows 11 install exactly like Windows 7. Maybe even a little better than Windows 7. And we're going to make it. We're going to do it. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. So that is the objective today. It's going to be a little bit, buckle up. It's going to be something. And I'm looking forward to it. So the big thing here is we have a little hang up at the end of our install, is how we kind of left yesterday. The GUI to install from the toolbox is not very user friendly, and frankly, most people are going to pick the wrong options. So I'm going to make a bit of an executive decision here. The big thing here, I get asked a lot of questions. A lot of people want different objectives to the Microwin. Microwin will be just one thing: making a sensible ISO that doesn't strip out too much, just leaves Defender, leaves the normal Microsoft stuff, but just doesn't have any bloat. It's just a very sensible ISO install, and I'm doing it as if I worked at Microsoft. This is what I would do. And that is the idea behind the ISOs, just to have a good starting spot. And that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to remove a lot of options, actually. Removing, like, stripping out Defender or Edge. Honestly, this is going to just mostly break most Windows installs, and I don't want people doing that with this implementation. It's just too many bad things happen when you do that. Same with like provision packages. We're going to leave provision packages. We're just going to get rid of the bloat, have a sensible install, and then people will use Microwin pretty much on every install just because they don't have to think about it. They can just click it and go. Now, if you want to like do a massive strip out or whatnot, buy NT Lite. Do it yourself. That kind of thing. I get it. That is where I'm going. If you want to do your own unattended XML, again, that's another like NT Lite type deal. My tool is not really meant to cater to everyone. It's meant to cater to 90-something% of regular users. And that's probably where we're going to end up today. So that's the objective, not a huge scope, just, sensible changes. And that's really what we're going for. Yes, so Thursday is going to be the Linux stream, Linux utility. I really just wanted to finish Microwin. So I know it's 2 days of Microwin, and I'm probably going to want to punch babies after dealing with this much Microsoft development. But, we'll get through it. I think a lot of people will benefit from it at the end of the day. Yeah, and that's kind of what I already have. We already have it removing all pre-installed apps. We already have it removing most telemetry and just junk that comes with most pre-installed stuff. Let's first tackle the probably the problems with the first setup script. So let's grab any WinUtil stuff. So this is right now is kind of the changes we're making with auto attend and the invoke Microwin. Microwin improvements auto setup is what we're going to call that one. Let's just commit that to main. Oh, geez. Am I not even authenticated? What? Come on. What happened here? Might need to sign out and sign back in. Come on. What happened? Can we commit? Please tell me who you are. I think we'll have to sign out and sign back in. 1 second. Let's do that. We're gonna do that. I don't know what happened here, but that is okay. Let me. Kind of a weird bug here. I guess let's do this from terminal. Yeah, Microwin's gonna install just blank local account. We'll give an example of this once I finish this commit. Damn, what was my GitHub sign in? 1 second. Let me try a few things. 1 second. Just I'm trying to do this sign in. Of course, the very first thing that happens to me is It's like, no, you're not signed in. Chris Titus tag clear. Okay. All right. Now commit. There we go. So with that, let's, I don't know if we want to do a push just yet. This is the changes with the auto attend XML. This honestly doesn't matter. The big thing here was just kind of changing this local account. So what Microwin does now is it basically skips the out-of-box experience. So there's no questions anymore. It will add a user called user. It has administrative privileges and no password. So you do need to change this probably when you log into your system. You don't have to if you want to be completely unsecure, but for the most part, people would probably want to change the name of it, maybe add a password if you want. But other than that, it's a local account and it auto logs in. We also skipped all the out-of-box experience, both machine and user level. We also changed some registry entries to do the auto-logging count and skip all of that. And then we changed up quite a bit in the specialized section of the unattended. We changed it from like 1 or 2 things that are happening to quite a bit of actions that are happening, from configuring chat, configuring icons, and certain installs that happen now get removed directly from this specialized section. The big thing at the end here, which we might even be, no, all this is actually pretty basic. Let's just push this to main and let's fix that first run script. Oh, that's right, Rezo. I deleted the .git config. I'm such a goob. That's what happened. Yeah. Well, so I was signed in, Igor. I deleted the global config for my Git. Yeah, I told you not to, but I did it anyways. That sounds like me. All right. That's pretty funny. So let's see what we got. We're doing this first, I think it was a first run script. Let's see, where's that first startup PS1? Now, where is this getting declared? Let's take a peek at it, because something's happening in this first run setup script. Yeah, here we go. I'm imagining, so when it locks up, usually on an install, and these are things you just have to install like Windows 100 times to get. It's just like an experience thing. I'm betting you it's a service tweak that causes the lockup, and it's forcing like a service of some sort. So right here, you're creating the shortcut, removing Edge icon from desktop. That's fine. That's not going to lock things up. Here it is. This right here, I can see. Start sleep, 3 seconds. Wait for process to exit. Yeah. That could be it. And then the stopping of unnecessary services. Figure this out. So set to security updates only. We're going to remove this. And apps use light theme value 1. Themes personalize. Actually, I kind of want to change this to 0 so it does dark theme by default. But honestly, I don't think this actually needs to set. This is going to be the big thing that's going on with the stop unnecessary services. And we're going to remove it from this section. I don't know, Chad, what do you think? Light theme, dark theme, right out of the gate. I know y'all usually complain about light theme, but I feel like we should probably just not even bother setting this item property. I think, honestly, what this should be is just user independent. Everyone says dark theme. Yeah, I think let it be. But I think we could do a dark theme by setup, but I don't want to set it via registry setup. I just don't. All right, so then we got our services tweak. So this is trying to shut down all these services on the stop unnecessary services. This is not how we should do this. This is what's causing it. You might be like, Titus, how do you know that? Lots of heartache and long nights. That's how I know. That will fix that problem. Now, let's see. What about new first run? What's this going to do? Global error, action preference, continue. Check if registry path exists. This is just a simple registry run. Now, is this being utilized? Yes. Task ban. This is just the favorites. So it's only be utilized a couple spots. All right. And that's it. So this is basically the new first run. It creates this simple script. Not much is happening here. I kind of like it. Stop process explorer. Force. This is actually commented out, so don't really need to do it. I don't know. So you have stop process and wait for process on the explorer getting killed. Let's try it out first. This also could be the issue. We're going to kind of consolidate some of this stuff. And I feel like that should be fine. Anything else I want to... The reason for... You really don't want an elaborate... Just for people that are setting up their own system, I'm going to explain a few things real fast. You don't really want to make it all in one PowerShell script at a start here. The big thing that you really want to do is set this in a XML unattended. There's a lot of configuration options that can happen from the XML portion. And you want to do most of that configuration through XML, not through a PS1 script on an initial startup. The reason being is the PS1 scripts, one, it can hang and leave a bad user experience, where if you implement it mostly in the XML side of things, the end user's not really going to get sitting there just staring at something going, what the hell's going on in the background? You don't really want that, and this is going to be a lot better. So we're going to kind of clean this up a bit. I think what we'll do is that, yeah, as far as like Discord and like chat services, I usually check it like once every week or two. We also have a Reddit that I check about once every week or two. And I know people are like, once every week or two, Titus, how do I reach you? And to you, I say, you just don't. I will just get it in a week or two if I don't see it. And that's just how I operate. It's easy. I get my work done, and then when my work's done, I can play around. So let's go. Let's try this out. You can see the big changes here is removing unnecessary services. Doing a stop service loop like this, I mean, always usually you get some kind of hang up. Personalization, getting rid of that. Stopping the Windows Update service. This is not where this should be. There's a lot of things that I looked in here. I'm like, all right, we got to clean up this first run. So we're going to go clean up first run, commit this to main, and push. So now what we're going to do is let's look at Microwin now. I think it was like new Microwin is what we put there before. And we'll do our first run, see how we do on this. This should fix a lot. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be close. It's going to be a far better experience than anybody currently probably experiences with Windows install. So we have that. Let's create our image, and then we'll check in with chat at the end here. Actually, let's not do an IRM. Let's just do a compile run. 7-day delay. Sometimes. It depends on where I'm at in my weekly cycle. Sometimes I check up on it on Wednesdays when I'm at my day job too. So we'll go Microwin, and then from Microwin, this is where we're going to change a few things. We could use ISO directory for Scratch, but I like to just specify the Scratch directory as C, Microwin, like this. Select the ISO. Just go to downloads, download whatever Windows 11 ISO Microsoft's feeding you. Let that cook in the background. You should see it. Should see that going, right? Where is that? There it is. So what happens is the Microwin ISO gets mounted, and then it copies all the stuff from that ISO from Microsoft over into C Microwin. So I'll walk you through kind of what's going on here. When that's done, it then looks at it. It then mounts what's called the install.wim file. This is like a 4 gig file. It's like a 6 gig file now because Microsoft loves to bloat things up. And this is basically like an image inside an image. So you have the ISO image, but then you have the install.wim image. Now you can actually mount this using a DISM command in your PowerShell I'm just doing that in the background. So that's what's going on here. It's reading that image, pulling it in, and then from here, we're going to remove all these options right here for the removal of the ISO. They don't make a lot of sense to a lot of new users, and even veteran users are probably like, I don't know about all that. So this is probably what it should look like right now, but we're going to do it better than this. So we're going to hit start the process. Nothing extra, right? The only thing we're doing is removing Apex packages because who wants Candy Crush? We'll go ahead and overwrite this one and replace it, and then let this cook. Now, right now, we're about 21 minutes in, so let's see how long this ISO takes. Now, when you use like NT Lite, a lot of times this process can take a very long time. Now, I think we can leverage run spaces and other things in Microwin and do a big change. Now, a lot of people are asking about refactors or contributions. Right now, please don't contribute. I want to get this in a good spot, and I'm going to do the whole refactoring and molding and redirect everything, and then we can kind of clean things up and prune around the edges. So please don't spend a lot of time contributing to Microwin right now. I need to just redo all this. I don't like where it's at right now. Right now it's getting to the spot, but I'm about to redo the whole UI, and I don't want people to contribute a whole bunch right now. I really want to just do it myself on this one and get it to a little bit more of a clear, good user experience for most users. That's the goal. So I don't want to make it overly complex because right now it's way too complex for most users to use and convoluted. And I want to remove a lot of that, make it very simple. And you'll see using these options is what we will put in here as just a stock setting. We might add a little extra flair here and there, but we're going to remove and really clean this up to where it's easy. So what this is doing, Microwin in a nutshell, just makes an ISO from a base one you download from Windows. And it removes all the bloat that comes with the ISO. Now, the other thing we need to do, now that I've said that, is we need to prune and clean up the install.wim image, possibly do like a purge of non-used language packs, purge of old stuff, and then repack it properly, because by default, we're not doing that. You'll notice the installed ISO file does not change at all. I'm hesitant to do that just because it does add a lot of time. And dealing with these WIM images is time consuming. Yeah, we are actually making, Pat, we are making it for Linux. We have a Linux toolbox. Thursday stream's going to be over the Linux toolbox. So we're going to be doing both. Making life easier for both Windows and Linux users is my goal. So all my time, all my development time, everything I've been dumping into these streams has usually been split between these two projects. Yeah, exactly, Igor. It's like I said, we need to make it so it's very easy for people to do. Because right now, if you do a bunch of different settings, or you're like, oh, I'll just remove everything, it's just not a good experience, and we really need to do better. And that's what this update will be. So by the end of the day, anybody will be able to open up Microwin, push a ISO directly in from Microsoft.com, and then have a clean install. As we're about to see, this should produce an ISO that gets you to your desktop in about 10 minutes, I think. And the desktop should be very clean and minimal. Maybe run some tweaks. I think I'll leave it up to the user if they want to run the WinUtil after the fact or not. I'm also like tinkering or playing with the idea of changing the region to the EU, uninstalling Edge like we've done in the past, and then switching the region back to your home region. And then that way you have a completely clean install with no browsers or anything. But I don't know. Some people will be like, well, what do I do now? Well, it's hard to... I'll leave it up to the user, I think. I think we're just going to go with a stock, sane Microsoft install. If you install CMake, Visual Studio, VC package with your tool, VS gives an error when building for some odd reason. We can take a look at that. Sounds like if VS gives an error, usually that's a web view issue. Web views dependency from Visual Studio. So it could be like people that uninstall Edge and then they strip it out using like an unsanctioned Microsoft tool. You could break Visual Studio, Microsoft Store games, that type of thing, because a lot of them have dependencies on WebView 2, which is part of a dependency of Microsoft Edge. It's an Edge case. Yeah. It'll be interesting. I think definitely having like some Rice setups for tiling window managers in the Linux toolbox would be pretty cool. Should we separate Microwin? Nah, BCA. We're not going to go crazy with that. Microwin's going to be... It's not going to be like the end-all be-all of ISO creation. It's going to be, hey, you're a normal user. Here's a simple ingestion and then spit out an ISO. If you want to add drivers, cool. We'll leave that there. But removing Defender, removing Edge, removing all this other crap and customizing it down to every little bit, that ain't my bag. We're just going to make it to where it makes a sensible ISO on start. I'm not going to do any import of drivers, gang. We're going to do just, I mean, we could, but I want to honestly just see the stock experience for users. I think Windows 11 LTSC already released. I think it released, a couple months back. Was it 2022? And that should be clear all the way to like 2030 or something for that. It was kind of cool. Nah, I'm not going to really do Glaze WM again, even after the Rust rewrite. The thing about window managers and Windows is you're stuck with this nasty taskbar. You're stuck with a lot of decisions Microsoft made, and it just feels bad tacking on a bunch of crap on top of Windows, especially coming from Linux. Like, you look at the Windows portion, and then you come over here and you're like, oh, this feels good. And then you get back here and then you have like a glazed WM solution on Windows and you're just like, this is kind of gross. I don't really enjoy it. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm like, window managers in Windows just, it feels awful no matter what the developers do. And that's just Microsoft that has done that, not their inability to make a window manager. It's the fact that you can't change the way the system really works. You have to deal with Explorer. You have to deal with the taskbar. And you can't just take what Microsoft has and mold it into something good because they just don't allow you to touch those components. So yeah, window managers in Windows is just bad. And it's just how it is. I mean, if you're a diehard Windows user and you really want to try a window manager, Glaze WM is amazing. But if you're a Linux user and you've actually had a real tiling window manager, it feels bad. And that's because it's Windows. And you're rather just, I'm just like, just give me the stock experience. If it's Windows, it doesn't matter to me. Yeah. River WM, I actually did. Yeah, I did actually look at River. River was interesting. A very simple project. But like most Wayland projects, they're still very young, still need a lot of polish, and they have more bugs than I care to deal with. Ricing or visual mods to Windows usually feels bad. Just stick with what is there and tweak the small things. I agree with you, Tammy Killer. Less is more when it comes to Windows, for sure. OpenShell to replace the awful Windows 11 start menu. Yeah, I mean, you could do OpenShell. You know, that came out in development. It actually was called something different. I can't remember. What was the original project name of it? Jeez, I can't remember. It was during the Windows 8 era because they used to have the start screen, which was terrible. You talk about bad. At least Windows 11 start menu is functional. The start screen in Windows 8 was the stuff of nightmare. Classic Shell. Yeah, Classic Shell is what it was called. Thank you, chat. That's great. All right, we're almost done. Now we're just unmounting and doing a quick cleanup, and we should have our ISO. We'll drop that in, and then we'll do a fresh Windows install. And this should drop us to the desktop. We'll put a timer up And then, or just look at the time. I don't need a timer for dramatic effect, but we should be good. How to use Microwin in Linux? Well, I'll show you. We're just going to use the ISO and then do a virtual machine, because that's what I'm in right now. This is actually just a virtual machine right here. 8 was a mistake worse than Vista, in my opinion. I agree with you, Dammy. Yeah, 8.1 was just crappy 7. Agreed. Dammy Killer's takes are almost exactly what my takes are. So far, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Vista was pretty bad on launch just because there was an addition of 64-bit apps and people didn't understand the difference between 32 and 64. And there was also a lot of issues running 32-bit apps on a 64 system and vice versa right out of the gate with Vista. And then they ironed all that out. And then usually by Service Pack 2 in Vista, it was actually pretty solid. You can actually look up, I think it was the Mojave experiment from Microsoft, where they actually reskinned Vista and then gave it to users after asking them, hey, what's your Vista experience? Everyone was like, oh, Vista's awful. Oh, this is horrible. So then they reskinned and kind of just changed the taskbar in the background of the install. And then they gave it to one and like, here's the new Windows. And it was, like I said, you can just look up on YouTube, Mojave experiment, Mojave experiment, Microsoft. And all these users were like, this is amazing. So basically what they did is they took that and just called it Windows 7. Some minor tweaks here, like the removal of widgets and other extra bloat from Vista when making 7. But for the most part, 7 was very much just a clean version of Vista. Yeah, it was a big change too. Like the change from XP to Vista, you had such a jump in technology. People don't understand. You went from 10 running processes to like 40 or 50 running processes with Vista as well. Vista was doing a ton more under the hood. You had the addition of 64-bit compatibility. You had a ton more requirements. So people just had issues. Oh, I went on a second there. There was an error up here. The system wasn't able to find the registry key or value. Okay, that's fine. Just looking at that. But yeah. Yeah, it was a marketing blunder on Microsoft's parts with Vista. Vista itself was not that awful. All right, we got our new ISO that we just built. We'll close this out. Let's go into desktop. Let's just go open tab, desktop. We're going to just take this new Microwin, toss it here, and then we'll shut this guy down. Was there anything else? No, we didn't have any other changes. We're good here. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Microwin's done. And now we can shut this down and we'll launch into Vert Manager and start building that Linux distro. I think I'm just going to make a utility that helps Linux users. So you can pick whatever base distro you want and then just use my utility. And then, hey, you want to add a tiling window manager like DWM Titus here. Or if you want to, change your global theme, you want to install the version of Bash that I'm using, install the NeoVim I'm using, you can just pick and choose what you like from me and then just add it to your distro. I think that's the best way of choice instead of just making yet another distribution to confuse folks. That way people can kind of pick and choose what they actually want to do. Let's delete this Microwin, delete, and we're just going to go new and build this out. So we'll go Microwin, Windows 11, bam, forward. You know what? Let's just go 4 CPUs. Should we go lighter? Let's go 8 CPUs. We're gonna actually keep 8 gigs now. We're gonna start stripping back how much horsepower we're giving this thing, and we're gonna just call this Microwin. Customize, and we'll just use the bridge. CPU topology. Let's just go 1, 8. And finally, that's it. A very simple VM. So we'll take this, put that over here, give it all the CPUs. Oh boy. So here is the stock experience. It is now 3740 past the hour, or 3630 actually. So let's see. By the time it gets to 45 after, at the top of the hour, we should be done and on the desktop. That's the goal. So less than 10 minutes is what we should be seeing on a Windows install. Anything less than that is, oops, I screwed that up. My bad. Clicked too fast. It's a little more light. I should have probably given it more. Whatevs. Even with that misclick, we're still getting under 10 minutes. Nope. No need to disable Ethernet. There's no changes, nothing. We're making it super simple for everyone. That's the thing. I don't want you having to pick all these different options. I just want to say, here's a normal user. You need a Windows ISO. Feed it the stuff from Microsoft. Export it out. Put that in your system. Install. Desktop. That's it. We don't need to overcomplicate this and go, okay, well, I want to modify the XML and do my own unattended and then add all these different. If you want to do that, great. Install, Windows deployment systems yourself and you make your own ISO or do NT Lite. You do you. But for most users, this is the workflow I want. This is the workflow we will have. This is the vision. That's it. Super simple, sane, stock, Windows, no bloat, no questions, no Microsoft account. Just give me Windows desktop, nothing else. That's the goal. We will not deviate from it. That's what's happening. It's all I want. It's all pretty much most Windows users want. And I'm just going to pretend I was working at Microsoft and this was my product and I want to give users something that they would like and use. That's it. All right. So we're about a minute and a half in. We are done with the copy of the setup files. This will reboot. So normally you'd go into an out-of-box experience here that'll try and connect you to the internet, set up a Microsoft account, download a bunch of updates for 30 minutes to an hour. See our past stream if you want to see the pain there. We're doing all that behind the scenes here. It'll start the services. It's going to do all the configuration for us. It's going to disable all the telemetry. It's going to get ready, and then it's going to reboot, and then we should see a brief screen saying things are getting ready, and then a desktop. And that's what's going to happen. Just watch, wait, and see the magic. Why Microsoft doesn't make it like this? Beyond me. All right, there's our first reboot. Now we should see a screen saying getting things ready. And then it should drop us on the desktop. Come on. All right, we're coming up on 5 minutes. We started at 36:30, I think it was. Now, the last time it did get stuck around this spot. There's still one thing in the XML that I'm kind of like, ooh, that could be causing it to stick. And we'll see if that actually still there. We'll give it to 43 after. It shouldn't stay on this screen more than 2 minutes. So if it hits 11:43 up at the top right here, and we're still sitting here looking, then we've got some tweaks to do. Microsoft doesn't even care about software anymore. They're an advertising company. I think you're pretty spot on there. I think you're right. All right, let's see. I think we got stuck. Unless it pops in. We're coming up. It's got less than... it's coming up on about 60 seconds left. If it's not popping on the desktop, then that's it. Yeah, it should have been done about now. Yeah. I think it's stalled out, so we got to change a few things, remake the ISO again. I gotta love the experience of making a custom ISO. So close. I'll give it another 45 seconds just to be fair, but I think it's safe to say that's what's happened. Do you have an updated guide on that Windows VM? Check out Akari Knight's PCI pass-through. Someday you should deploy Windows through the Nix language. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Chris. You could do it through Nix, Nix Flakes. You could also do it through, actually, what a lot of the custom ISOs now, like Atlas and all those other guys doing, they're actually using playbooks. I don't know why my brain just I had a big brain fart. What's the playbooks called? Ansible. Ansible playbooks is what they're doing. All right. Yeah, this is stuck. So if we could actually just send it like a Control-Alt-Delete and then restart, and then this would actually probably get us where we need to be. Close. I know it. I know exactly what's causing it to do that. So this is the stock settings. You can see nothing here. You have just search, task view, and then your standard deals. So then you could sign in. You'll also notice the app menus bare. Oh, a sensible starting spot is what Microwin's going to give you. So let's fix that little hang up there, because that is no bueno. Trial and error. How many times will we install Windows today? But as you can see, it is down. I would put the install time around 6 minutes is I think where we can get to. Completely debloated. All right, delete. So what we'll do is fire our PCI pass-through back up, redo it again. Round 2. We're getting close though. It's not Ansible. It's a custom one, like a ameliorated or something like that. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but we're going to just use all Microsoft products here. Everything's going to be a DSM install. I don't want to change and make. I don't want reliance on any other project. I want to use all official Microsoft stuff. Microsoft ISO, Microsoft tooling, everything stock. That way, no matter what happens, it's going to work. And I'm not going to have to worry about some project maintainer somewhere going rogue or something like that. Let's see. Come on. Fire up already. All right. So let's fire this guy up. Let's look back through that first run. I know exactly where it's getting stuck. And if we look in here, it's going to be right here. Anything else I want to get rid of here? I think that should be pretty good. Kind of cleaning up this first run script. I think it was just trying to do too much. And most of these configurations and changes I want to make, I want to push most of the actual changes into the XML instead of a PS1, which I've already gone into and explained. So I want to say that was probably the hang up altogether. And that's good. So with that done, I want to push this, fix Microwin hang up, and then we do it again. HP Wolf security protection. I know, it's such a meme at this point. It's part of the channel. Fix hang up with Microwin. Let's push this. I know I could do this a lot faster and not rebuild it every time, but I want an end-to-end experience. Actually, while we're here, before we do this rebuild, I kind of want to change a few things as well. Let's go into... Let's change the XAML. I think what we're going to do is come into, like, let's go Microwin. All right, Microwin adjustments. What I want to do here is make this simpler. Now, we probably should streamline the Scratch directory creation as well. I don't want to take that out of the user's hands and just toss it in the C drive. But then again, some people are going to have like a 256 NVMe or some crap, and then it's going to fill it up. So yeah, maybe not. Okay. All right, let's go here. And what we're going to do, text block. I think what we'll do is remove all of this. You get no more options of Defender or an Edge, because honestly, that should be done in post. I don't want to remove those actual files and strip them out of the ISO. Just nothing but good. Nothing but bad things can happen from that. So Microwin features. Let's make this a little more clear as well. Add ability, remove telemetry tracking. Fast install using user local account. Remove Wi-Fi requirement to finish install. Let's just say app debloat. Again, less is more. We're going to say no internet requirement for install. Instructions, download the latest one. Put it somewhere in C. Launch WinUtil Microwin. Select ISO. Choose only the features you want to keep. Click start process once that's done. Good. All right, great. So during the invocation, invoke Microwin. Let's change this around, and parameters we're going to be passing. Remove features, dump features, keep defender. Ooh, let's see. Keep defender. I want to say, let's get rid of that. What about dump features? How is that being specified? I think what we'll do is just call this dumps all features found in the ISO file into something called teacher. This file can be examined and used to decide what you want to remove. All right. I think keep defender is one thing we're going to get rid of. And then keep defender. Uh-oh. Did I lock out? Ah. All right. So we're going to get rid of this. Removing features in feature list. That's fine. Yeah, this is going to take a little bit. I'm looking at it, but that's okay. Let's look at keep defender again. Remove features. All right, then we got dump features. So where is remove features getting called? Let's double check that now. So keep defender's gone. We'll need to streamline this. I know this is like just butchering all this stuff, but you know, there's remove features there. But remove features, keep defender, keep defender. Remove features from this, and yeah, you had keep defender and keep defender. We're gonna get rid of that. Remove, keep security, keep defender. So next up is provision packages. That's gonna be the next. So if not, keep provision packages. So you have remove packages and remove provision packages. And what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna do this. Oh, let's take these guys down. And then let's streamline. Oh, there's another keep defender. Yeah. Okay. Looks like there's some hallucinations in here too, so that's all right. I'm just gonna clean this up real fast. And sorry if I'm ignoring chat. I'm just trying to get like super laser focused in here. Just trying to get this done. I really want to just make sure that we have a clean deal. So the first thing is the remove packages section. Control Shift F. Where do we got remove? We have the function right here. Function remove packages. It's going to go through, remove all of this. Now that looks okay to me. Bio enrollment, desktop app installer, UI XML. These are not like, okay, cool. So make sure not to purge these, which are part of Windows, which is good. Cool. And then as far as provision packages, let's go Control Alt F. Let's look at the function for the provision packages. Not like store, foundation, media, notepad. Okay, great. So all that looks good. Now, as far as keep security, where is this getting declared? If keep security, and I want to say we want to make sure. I kind of want to see where this is getting declared. So I think we got rid of it as well. So the remove packages and keep security call. If we look at the invoke, remove provision packages, there's nothing there. So let's get rid of this switch. Let's keep security. We're always going to be keeping security. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, coding wonders. So we're going to actually get rid of that just to streamline this. No parameters, params. And then we're going to just do a direct call. And then for the security keep packages here, AppX packages where object not like sec health counter 0. It goes through. Oh, there's probably a better way of doing this. Let me think. Yeah, I think what we'll do is just get rid of this if statement. Come down here. Delete that. Fix that indent. So it'll grab the AppX packages, not like sec health UI. Then set that, and then we scroll through all of those with a progress bar. Perfect. I know I'm missing something in here. It's only a matter of time. All right, let's clean up some more of this stuff. Dude, we are calling the herd on this guy. New attend. Yeah, we're changing the unattended quite a bit, so we'll just get rid of that. Sec pass, I think that's good. Yeah, Windows Defender won't be disabled at all. So we're just we're getting the sane requirements that will give you a really good functional system without any excess garbage. So, where's this dump features getting declared? Because remove features itself, if you look at remove features, it's getting called here. I don't think it's getting called anywhere else. I don't know if we need this dump features feature. Yeah, because it's getting called here and it's getting called here, but both times it's not having a switch. So this dump features false. I feel like we could probably, it might be for a debug of some sort in the future. You remove the exception to remove the removal of defender. Yeah, so keep defender. Did I remove? No, I think we're good. I'm just gonna clean this up. Let's go no params. No params. Params. Clean this dump features. I know I'm carving this up, sorry, y'all. Now, we'll look through what I've removed just to make sure I didn't go too hard on the cuts here. We're just cleaning up. Yeah, dump feature. Let's make sure dump's not in here anymore. Dump, it's not. Okay. So that's fine, that's fine. Now let's look at our cuts. So cuts we're doing, remove features, no params, dumping that. If keep venture not like, oh yeah. We need that. Good. See, that's what I love about having chat and doing this. You all figured me out. When util Microwin helper is where that needs to be. When util Microwin helper. So before we do that, which feature was that in? That would have been in the remove features section. So under remove features, right here, you have get window feature from scratch feature name. Feat list equals feat list where option not like defender. Honestly, this is a little redundant. Yeah, this is not where it should be. All right. Yeah. All right. But good catch. Good catch, chat. Thank you for showing me that. All right, so then we have that. And then feature list right there. That's fine. AW, thanks for the prime. So we have provision, removing parameters here, calling this up. We did change the appx, remove this if-else statement. Good. Just getting rid of some old comments, nothing bad. Next up, remove features, removing parameters, changing the if-else statements, removal from the GUI, removing host packages, provision packages, great. And then for keep defender, if not keep defender, then go ahead and remove and purge the Windows directory. We obviously want to keep that. So if you want to disable it, you can do it after the fact. Then we just have a bunch more comments. For the XAML, if we look at what we're removing here, we are removing the text block and checkboxes for provision packages, Apex packages, Defender, and Edge. The thing is, most people don't even know what these do, and they're just kind of guessing when they check whatever they're doing. Some people are like, well, I want to remove Defender, I want to remove Edge. There's better ways of doing that removal. Really shouldn't be done on the ISO. And then for provision and Apex packages, we've already got a really good list going. Let's just, the whole point of Microwin is to get rid of the bloat. So we're picking out, hey, keep Defender, keep Edge, remove everything else that's garbage. Now it still keeps like Notepad, Paint, Photos, I think, a few other features, but for most part, everything gets purged, which is what we want. A little bit more cleanup here, and that should be good. So this is just going to be Microwin cleanup, commit, and we will push. Now with that done, let's come into our admin. We're going to check if it compiles. And this is where we'll do the compile run. Okay. I think I had missing closing on provision package. Okay. Yep. Fat fingered something. I was like, I always fat finger something. Oh no. Come on. Looking Glass has been messing up for me lately. Come on. Windows is like, nuh-uh, I'm done. Oh, that's funny. You mentioned in the tool that disabling DVR also makes auto HDR not work in full screen. Oh, that's a good point, Kenny. We probably should mention that. Oh, you misspelled program Windows Client Language Pack. Ah, thanks, Rish. Oh, yeah, I should probably look in the latest looking glass. Ah, man, this is just messing up for me. All right, fine. Let's just reboot this, and then we'll fix that. I didn't quite catch that error message. Well, I'm sure the linter shows it, though. It was like a closing bracket, I think, on remote remove provision packages or something of that nature. So I'll just give it a second. NetFX, I think, is actually a valid package. Yeah, let's make sure WebView 2 is also there as well. DWM's the window manager sauce. Love me some DWM. Yeah, I'm looking at the graph here. We'll wait till it flatlines after a reboot. It should be fine. I don't know what happened with my pass through here. We'll get it worked out though. All right, looks like we should be back in business. Now, let's come back into our provision packages. I bet you it should show problems and show something, right? There it is. Remove provision packages. Ah, now what is this doing exactly? Is this if statement even needed? What is this doing? And is it needed? This checks if the previous command was successful, but it is not needed here. Okay. So the previous there is no command. Yeah. I don't think that's needed. Let's get rid of that. So you have get package where not like here. Why was that suggestion being made? Interesting. So that should fix that section of it. Counter, we got the for loop. Yeah. Okay. The command in question is get appx provision package. Yeah. So this is the get appx provision package. That's fine. Yeah, that looks valid to me. Let's give it a whirl. Fix error. Let's just commit. Before we do a push, let's run it and see if it actually fixes it, huh? I think we're gonna get some love on this one. So let's go compile run. Okay, Microwin. So then we have our Microwin. Let's go select our scratch directory again. And now we've kind of cleaned things up. And when we select the ISO, let's see what options it gives us. You can see in the background. Yeah, I did quite a bit of an early stream today. I really wanted to make sure we finish Microwin. So this could be a short stream. It could be a long stream. It's just, we will finish today. That's what I know. One way or another, I'm finishing it. Add a personal try-catch block. Yeah, that's a good idea. Coding wonders. Agreed. Yeah, we'll cleanse the palette of this Windows nonsense on Thursday, Peter. Okay, so now it's finding the Pro Edition, and then it should say check GUI after. All right, here we go. So now we have this. You can see it's much more simple. You're checking the edition right here. You can inject drivers or you can copy a vendor. But honestly, what we're going to do now is we're just going to hit start process. We're going to choose new Microwin, save to desktop. Actually, should we save it to our home folder just direct? I'm actually okay with that. Let's just save it directly here. Cut out the middleman. All right. So this is actually going to burn it directly to the network drive. So this might fail just because we selected a network drive to push the ISO image to, but let's give it a whirl. This might take forever, but I wanted to at least try it. The local files are local, so it should build it relatively fast. When will the new Microwin be released? Probably general public next week. We'll have a dev version done today, though. The WinDev branch pre-release will be today. So if you want to try this out later today, you're going to be able to do that. I think this is going to work great. I've done this hundreds of times in my life, maybe thousands. Really, if you go back to the XP days, back when NT Lite was free, oh man, I was doing it a lot back then. And when you factor in when I was doing the fog machine and doing, if you count all the systems I imaged through the fog machine, my God, definitely in the thousands. So I think we're gonna have a beautiful image at the end of this. We will have a beautiful image at the end of this. What's your CPU? Yeah, it's a Xeon. What we're rocking right now for the CPU. We might do like a Defender disable of some sort. There's a lot of programs out there that does Defender. I just didn't want to do it from a stock setting because that's something that can have some really adverse consequences. And I don't want to be responsible for people removing Defender and then bad things happen in their system. Having said that, I do think maybe not necessarily I don't think it needs to be an all or nothing type of deal. I think you can modify Defender to be a lot more sensible. And that's, I think, what we're going to do. Does Microwin require scripting? No. Like, it's just going to be a button for people. The idea for the Windows utility and Microwin and all this is to bring all these sysadmin tools, things that we do in business, to the everyday person. That's the objective. It's not to make some crazy advanced tool that's only good for the advanced users. This is really just meant to be a tool for, average day Joes. Can pull it up, make a good image, and that's it. So that's why I'm removing a lot of the features that, one, I don't think they really made much sense even for sysadmins. And two, a lot of times people are choosing the wrong thing. So this should fix all of that. Do I need Rust experience to run Microwin? We actually don't have any Rust in the project. This is all PowerShell. An intermediate user with basic knowledge. I think that sums it up, Yates. Maybe not new users, but like intermediate. Yeah, I mean, new users aren't going to be able to do an ISO on like a USB drive or use Rufus or Ventoy. And I get that. Might rework the copy to USB section. I kind of want to use Rufus instead of Ventoy, just because Ventoy can be less reliable comparative to Rufus. I feel like Rufus always gives me a good USB drive, although Ventoy is just nice to have a bunch of stuff on the drive themselves. But if you are a Ventoy user, honestly, you're going to just copy the ISO yourself. Having a checkbox really doesn't change much. Please check your DWM PR. Just going to bed before reminding you in the morning. Okay, I'll check DWM Gaming. I can't be. Chris never misses chat. Yeah, I've been pretty busy lately. Etcher, I'm not a big fan of Etcher, actually. I've found Etcher fails more than Ventoy or Rufus, in my opinion. When it comes to like Windows images, I find Rufus and Ventoy to be more reliable. Rufus is probably the most reliable when it comes to making a Windows image. Ventoy is right behind it. And then I feel like there's just everybody else. Etcher's nice from it being OS agnostic, so you could use it in Linux, you can use it in Mac. But is it really reliable? I don't think so. I've had a lot of images fail using Etcher to where I'm like, I don't know if I'd recommend it. I guess in a pinch I would use Etcher, but I would obviously default over to Ventoy or even a Rufus. What's a good version of Windows? I think Windows 2000 was the last good version of Windows. 2000 Workstation was a very solid version of Windows that had decent security. It wasn't bloated up with a whole bunch of nonsense, and it did what it was advertised on the box. XP, a lot of people look back with rose-colored glasses, but it was just an absolute security nightmare. You look at Vista, I've already talked about, hey, there was a huge leap in technology, 64-bit, 32-bit programs getting kind of commingled, and then the massive requirements jump. 7 was just a bit of more of a streamlined version of Vista. And then you had Windows 8, which you had that awful start screen. Do I need to say more? Windows 8 was just an abomination. It was a worse version of 7 in every way. And honestly, it did require more resources too, because they were really trying to peddle the Microsoft store. And then Windows 10 was a decent version of Windows. You could really strip it out, but probably the last decent version of Windows 10 was 1703. I want to say that's the creator's update. Maybe 1709. But as soon as 1803 happened, they started really implementing a lot of shenanigans, not sticking to the standards that Microsoft has followed for like 20 years, making services that you couldn't stop or disable, and really doing this bastardized installation of things through the Microsoft Store that really leveraged like provisioned AppX packages and things of that nature that were difficult to manage, maintain, or remove. You also had the integration of like Edge and just nastiness. And you also had it just plain being a bad feature update. It deleted some people's home folders. You had the integration of OneDrive. There's a lot of shenanigans that's happened ever since 1803. And then with Windows 11, there's a bunch of just marketing shenanigans happening with like VM security and other things on top of what Windows 10 already did. I still find Windows 10 to be better than Windows 11, but for compatibility, and then frankly, it's better for me to be on 11 just so I know what people are complaining about than running an old stock reliable version of Windows 10. Is it frozen? I don't think so. Maybe? Oh, yeah, it's frozen. Good call. Yeah, we're still going. Probably leave. I think we want to remove that provision package, getting rid of the gaming overlay, Xbox identity. Yeah. Your phone. Oh, yeah. This is going to be too much. Zune Music, though. Everyone needs Zune Music. It's funny. Quick Assist. What trash that is. Yeah, I do need to update Looking Glass. Well, it's not called Zune Music. It's just what the package name is. Microsoft's known for this. I suspect that Copilot is a repackaged Cortana. A lot of people obsess over AI stuff because it's such a good buzzword, but I want to say Copilot's just probably renamed from Cortana with some variation and changes in that regard. But most of it's just marketing nonsense. Okay, so we've got all that. That's looking good. This should be our first run, and we'll see on the dismount how this works. Cortana pilot. It's true. Yeah, I mean, well, our data's always being harvested. It's just a new process running in the background that's harvesting it. Yeah, it's just copying over the image. This is taking a little bit because it's actually copying to the network drive now. So this is actually going to take a little bit longer than the last one. Yeah, I think I might change that while I'm sitting here, though. The remove pack at this one. Let's see. Can we grab a log file and then change some of those packages? So there's a few in there that I kind of want to keep on the provision packages side of things. I think Xbox is one that we want to kind of keep around. And let's see. Do we have... Where do we run that? I think it was in WinUtil. Do we have a log? Might not have spit that out for me. Got to retire. I don't think we do have a log file. That's okay. We could... You know what? I got an idea. Let's just do this, and then we'll do like in a list format and see what we get. I probably should have done this and just saved it to like the desktop and then copied it over afterwards. Yeah, this is taking quite a bit longer because it's copying back and forth between probably the network. Well, no. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Why this is going. Let's grab online. Okay, so the big things here that I kind of want to keep is your phone. Let's take that dash and we're gonna go Microsoft. I love that. That's the defaults. That's cute. Copilot's trying to save its own life. God bless it. That's pretty funny. Let's go star and all right. What I want to do is kind of clean this up a little bit, and while it's finishing, Let's see. I think Xbox is one thing we're going to grab. I want to leave all the Xbox stuff behind for the gamers that use it. I know people are like, I want my Xbox stuff removed, but I think leaving Xbox in there is fine. Let's see what else we got. So we got a lot of Xbox stuff. I also want to leave Windows Terminal and Windows Store. I think Store's already there, isn't it? Yeah, Store's already there, but leaving Terminal also kind of important. Store's fine. Sound Recurver nobody uses. Notepad. Are we leaving Notepad? Yeah, we're leaving Notepad. Maps, Feedback Hub, Communication Apps, Camera, Calculator. Are we leaving Calculator? I don't know. What do you think? Should we leave a calculator for people? Probably Calculator. Jeez. I mean, I don't personally use the calculator, but I know there's people that want a calculator. All right. Camera, alarms, photos. I feel like photos is one we probably should grab as well, as people want a photo viewer. I'm not a big fan of photos, but have something there. VC libs, need to leave that behind. All right. I feel like web view should be in here too. Store, Sec Health UI. We already did Sec Health UI at the top, right? Where is Sec Health? Again, let's just clean this up a hair, shall we? All right, Sec Health UI, Screen Sketch, People, Paint. Does anybody use Paint? Oh, there's going to be some YouTuber or something that uses this. They're going to be like, oh, Titus uninstalled Paint. He's an evil man. Paint is a revered tool. All right. Just so I don't get canceled, we'll leave Paint in there. Hub, Solitaire Collection, no. Get help. Gaming app. Yeah, let's get gaming. Well, I think we can get away with not doing the gaming app. As far as the desktop app installer, yeah, app installer's there already. Bing Weather, Bing Search, Bing News, A1 video extension, doesn't matter. Clipchamp. Is there a line that removes Sec Health or Windows Security? Yeah, no, everything's good now. You know, I think I'm going to err on the side of caution. Let's leave the gaming app there just in case. So then we got the gaming. So we have DSM. So what I'm doing is listing things that I want to make sure stay behind. I wanted to go through and kind of clear up a lot of stuff, but not clear up any of these packages. Probably AV1 encoding will probably be the last one I add. MPEG 2 video extension. I honestly want to just grab video extensions in general, as I don't want image and video extensions getting removed. So I think what we'll do is just say anything with extension in the display title omit. So something like this should be fine. So we can make sure that that's set up. Metadata, languages, notepad, extension. I think that's good. So that's going to give us a good spot. Screwball, thank you for the $11 super chat. Let's see what's said. I remove home and gallery on some installs, different from registry. The tweak does not work in some Win installs. Home and gallery, I don't think is a provisioned app, Screwball, so it should actually get rid of those. Good to know though. Yeah, so we're gonna leave the extensions alone, those types of things. And this should give you a very, very good base. Feel good about that. So let's save this out. That's good. This is done. Oh, ISO creation failed. I don't think it grabbed it for us. That's okay. I kind of wanted to rerun it anyways. If we look at our Windows images, new Microwin, you can, oh no, it says it's there. And it's 5.7 gigs, so it actually did remove some of the size. I don't think that's a valid image. Yeah, let's give it a whirl. And then let's look at this. Fix provisioned packages. Let's commit that. And let's push those two things. And now we should be good. So we've finished these things. Let's shut this down and then give it a whirl. This should end up on the desktop. And it should end up in the desktop in less than 9 minutes. So we'll shut this down. We'll do another speed run, kind of query everything. We're going to go new, Again, we're just going to push it through. Windows 11 forward. We'll give it 8 CPUs. Disk size only 50. We're going to keep it small. Microwin. Customize. We'll switch it to a bridge network. Change our topology as we normally do. Apply that. Everything else is good. Let's rock. Get this guy. Push it over. Well, that was a short one. That was a bad image. Oh, man. Well, we kind of knew that. I won't push it to a network drive on Microwin. Good to know. I just wanted to try it out. It was worth a shot. What's a good distro for 2-in-1 PCs? I don't know on that. 2-in-1 PC distribution, probably GNOME, I would imagine. I don't know. Chrome? Chrome OS. No. I'd probably try like Pop OS maybe. His Pop has a whole bunch of stuff where it's like touch-based support, I want to say. Yeah, we don't need to activate TPM 2.0. The image should do all that for us. I think it just didn't make the valid image. It died before it could finish. So let's redo this one more time. All right, WinUtil. And let's go compile run. Okay, so now we have this. We're going to go Microwin. And then from Microwin, we're going to go scratch directory. So this is all anybody's going to have to do going forward. Select a Microwin. I'm just going to put it in the root of C. ISO, you download it from Microsoft.com. Select it, hit open. You'll notice in the background here, it'll go ahead and grab and extract. Probably Windows 11 at this point. If you're doing a fresh install, I wouldn't go out of my way to install Windows 11 just yet. That's not going to be until probably next year. But if you're doing a fresh install, I'd probably fresh install 11 these days. I don't see a point in doing 10 unless you're like a business. And even in a business format, honestly, you probably should start switching over to 11. Yeah, you don't want to switch until it loses support or you're doing a refresh install. You're so close to the end of life of Windows 10 now that you're like, maybe it's time to do a fresh install. Then sure, do 11. But I wouldn't go out of my way to get rid of 10. Oh, thanks, Alan. Appreciate it. Can you add a button to download the ISO from Microsoft? I bet we could do something like that. I think we can make this easier. Well, let's first make sure we get a good ISO creation. This has gotten much more streamlined, much cleaner. Still too many options, I think. I feel like we could do better. But I think it'll be fine. All right, so let's go start process. We're going to just do new Microwin, save. And then this is going to run in the background and start it all over again. I switched our company to 11 so they don't have to pay for support for every machine that we have. It's a good point. Like once you hit end of life in 2025, if you got to start the migration to Windows 11. And that migration takes some time. So what happens? You have to buy a support contract from Microsoft. They usually sell them in chunks of 3 years. So you buy an extended support for every single client that's still on Windows 10, and it ends up costing a ton of money. It's a bit of a scam, but it's Microsoft. It's just what they do. But that's actually probably a good point. So I agree with Adrian there. Probably in the business realm, you should probably start looking at switching to 11, just so you don't have like, oh crap, end of life's next month. I guess I'm not going to sleep and I'm just going to live at the office while I switch all the clients over to Windows 11. Now, having said that, some businesses set it up with like thin clients and delivered images. So all you have to do is like update the master image. Or if you have like a Citrix farm, you could just update the master image to 11 and push it out over a weekend and you're good to go. It just depends on your setup and your business. So again, mileage will vary, but as far as like laptops and in the field stuff that you might not have direct access to, yeah, you definitely probably want to start thinking about upgrading those. What Linux you prefer for gaming? Bazite, I think, is probably what I recommend for most people if you're trying to look for a distro. Check out Bazite or Nobara. Both are very solid picks with a lot of sane defaults for gaming that don't require much tinkering. which is nice. You had to buy a TPM chip for the motherboard to upgrade? Nader. I'm out on that. I would have just done the reg hack. Is it possible to install something back that is removed by Microwin? Yeah. So the big thing here, Kenny, is I don't want to interface or change anything with the Microsoft Store. Because the Microsoft Store is where you can grab all these AppX provisioned and unprovisioned AppX packages. And if you don't know anything about AppX, just think of it as a bundled zip file with an executable for the most part, but it's in Microsoft's playground/store. And I left Microsoft Store intact so you can go grab any AppX that might get uninstalled and you can update and install it. So let's say I remove Calculator and you're like, damn it, Titus, I want the Microsoft Calculator. You can just pull up Microsoft Store, type Microsoft Calculator, unless it gives you some kind of malware from China, because sometimes that happens in the Microsoft Store and they don't properly vet their stuff. But regardless, if you get the right package, it will install it from Microsoft. It's one of them things. But yeah, you don't ever want to uninstall the Microsoft Store. There's a lot of little nuance to what we're doing here. The big nuance is not removing so much that it breaks Windows. The idea is just to remove the bloat, the Candy Crush, the excess Facebook/junk that gets installed on a fresh go. So the idea is just to have, hey, a start menu, and then all the regular Microsoft tools that you might use, whether it's Xbox, whether it's the Microsoft Store, all that's still at your disposal. Windows Defender, obviously you should probably have some kind of antivirus. That's what we're doing. Control-Shift-Alt-Win-L. I don't even know what that shortcut is in Windows. It's a lot of keys. The best antivirus is called Common Sense. Peter, that's probably the smartest comment I've seen so far this month on chat. It is so true. All right. I'm going to take a quick bio break and I shall return. Let's go, and I'm going to we'll just put this over here. Do we have term down 5 minutes? Oh, no term down. I wish I wanted this over here. 1 second. Let's fix this. Sometimes I don't like switching there because I wanted you guys to see the progress bar and then also have a little timer. I know what we'll do. Oh, I don't even have WSL on here. That's right. Can we do like a Python m pip? We don't even have Python installed. Python 3. Oh, which Python do we choose? I guess 12.5. All right, or 3.12. All right. Oops. Oh, geez. What's the full package name? All right. That's what I did. Well, I guess I must have. Let's just do an exact. Do an exact. I know Python. Yeah, Python's not terrible. There's a lot of things with Python that's kind of cool. So we'll get this, and then I think, is there a pipx in Windows? I can't say I've ever actually used pipx in Windows. Is the Windows you're current running from Microwin? Yeah. So we're installing it from here. Is there pipx? Nah. Oh, okay. There we go. Thanks, Razzo. I'm like, I don't know how does it do this work? I don't know how to do this in Windows. Oh God. There's no pip in Python though. You got to install pip. Restart the shell. Okay. So we're still doing that. All right, here we go. I guess I don't need a launch with admin, but I want to. I'm just so used to it. All right. So Python not found. Run without argument. Maybe at Python 3. Okay, maybe disable shortcut. God bless. I can't believe people use Python in Windows. Oh, what a nightmare. Did I add it to path? Path is bad. I don't know. I mean, is Python 3 even an executable? Okay, whatever. Don't use this one. Okay, God bless. In Linux, you just type install Python and it works. Yeah. All right. Let's see. What is the Python path? Is it here? Nah, it's like a 64-bit, huh? Python? Where the hell's Python? Anybody know where Python is? It's in app data. This is stupid. Just saying. Python? I don't see Python. App data, programs, local, Python, no Python. Oh, there's a remove file, path delete, sys health, sys tray icon. I'll take a look. Screw it. Let's just install it from the store. I don't care. I don't know. I don't know. In Windows, it just you can install an app data. It could be program data in C. It could be a 32-bit Python program files x86. It could be 64-bit and program regular, or it could just decide to toss it some other random location. It's Windows. In its infinite wisdom, they have zero standardization. Oh, let's not even worry about AppX and Microsoft Store. There's about 1 billion different ways you can install a stupid app on this terrible operating system. What a pile of poo. And yet, they have a monopoly, and that's why people use this steaming pile of dung. Anywho. Okay. Whatever. It's fine. I have given up. I'm just not even gonna go pee. Let's just finish Microwin. Oh, God bless. All right, let's see. Do we have Python installed now? Python 3. Oh, wait. Okay. So, holy crap. All right, well, we got it from the Microsoft Store. Oh, well. All right. All right, I'll be back, guys. Woo! Goodness gracious. Frickin' Microsoft. All right. I'm back. Yeah. Super fast. So as soon as I leave, it finishes. That beggars. Oh, just figured. All right. I think we're good with the term down. At least it's there now. All right, so done. ISO is completed. We did get a correct ISO. Looking back through, do we see any errors in this? We do have an error right here. We also have something someone mentioned in chat about sys health tray. I do want to look at that. Is that being deleted? Sys health. Let's go health. So you have sec health there. Sec health there. No other place. Now, they did mention when it's creating, there was a remove line. I thought I got rid of it. I could be hallucinating. So we have that unattended. Great. New check. Yep. Check. That looks good. Remove registry value. This is just a task ban of favorites and like widgets and other stupid stuff. Nothing big. I do not see anything where we're deleting or removing an item. So I think we're good. The moment you left, it was done. That figures. All right. Yeah, I think all this is gravy. This looks fantastic. I like it. iCallus, or what are we removing here? Looks like just extra junk. That's fine. I don't see anything there. Just looking for any extra lines where it might cause some problems for folks. I don't see anything. Everything looks great. I feel like this should produce a fantastic image. So let's take this, close this out. We're gonna go into the desktop, take our Microwin, toss it over here, replace it, and invoke WPF Microwin. I see it. Okay. Well, we can get rid of that. Couple more cleanups here. I don't think I see anything else here. Let's flip through just to make sure. I'm fine with like most of this stuff never gets used, like Windows Photo Viewer, Windows Media Player, all that usually is kind of junk, leftover garbage. Windows Internet Explorer, yeah, all that. As far as system apps down here, that's another thing. Parental controls can go, but the rest is fine. Narrator quick start, parental controls removal, that's fine. You have your first run. I think we're ready to time this thing. What do y'all think? Let's give it another whirl. Oh, actually, let me look here. If keep edge. Okay. We're going to get rid of this. Bypass system requirements. This is the TPM check. That should be fine. That's fine. The SAM archives. Microsoft and their amazing security. Heavy sarcasm. All right. Enable local accounts. OV. Disable sponsored apps. Choosing theme dark. That's fine. Unmount. Clean up. Unmount. I think that's good. I don't think this really... like this. These things are just like sample cleanups. We're still going to use the ISO image we created. Put it in. It should be good. So that's fine. Just an extra cleanup here. Let's see what we change. We're going to just make sure threat, defense, sec health, search, and Xbox don't get touched. We're getting rid of this edge right here. And the rest is fine. So update Microwin. Again, gotta love these commits I'm making. Real descriptive. Oh well. Just watch the stream. Yeah. That's all gravy. Let's go. Let us shut it down. I'm gonna say 7 minutes, 30 seconds. We're on the desktop on a fresh install. What do we think? How far do you think I'm off my rocker? I don't know. I think it's gonna be beautiful. Here we go. We're gonna go new, local media. We're gonna select that Microwin, Windows 11. Get ready to set your stopwatches. Speed with only, but just so people don't think I'm cheesing it, we're gonna give it 8 gigs of RAM with 8 threads, 4 cores. So just a quad core with 8 gigs of memory. Still gonna be less than 10 minutes on the install. So people can't be like, oh, well, you just threw a bunch of power at it, Titus. That's why it finished so fast. Yeah, I already feel those haters, and that is okay. We're going to silence them with our little quad core that we're going to be setting up here. So, quad core, 2 threads, apply, let's go. All right, it is 1:00. Well, let's start it at 1:04, right? So 1:04, the clock starts now. If we can finish it by 1:10, that would be 6 minutes on the install. Hopefully I don't fat finger click this. So we're going to say don't have product key. Oh God, I should have given it more power. It's a little laggy. That's all right. Here we go. 20 seconds in. And so it begins. Let's watch it. I think debloating through SOCCM is fine. Group policy honestly goes far enough, Ross. For most businesses. I've done group policy for a long time. Just make sure you make independent policies for each tweak you make. Don't be that guy. Do not, under any circumstance, ever be the guy that does 30 or 40 tweaks into one group policy. I swear, I want to punch someone in the face anytime I see that. So don't ever do that. Thomas, thanks for the tier 1. You gave it to Coding Wonders too. He's one of the first ones to really push Microwin and really has kept it alive for as long as he has. And all I'm doing here is just streamlining it. So big shout out to Coding Wonders because he has done quite a few tweaks in the background. And now I'm just kind of coming in and pushing it over the finish line. Chris, do you still recommend the Landman regedit where you change it to 32? I don't think I do. I've done a couple of them. And it's like, eh. All right, 2 minutes in. We officially are on our first reboot. We're going to have some setup here. I want to see by about 1:07, or about 7 after, I want to see another reboot happening. So right now we're tweaking and going through the out-of-box experience behind the scenes. Instead of getting, hey, please connect to the internet and sign into your Microsoft account, we're just doing it all behind the scenes here. So we're coming up 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Around 3 minutes, I want to see it on a reboot. Here we go. All right, we're officially 3 minutes in. Right on track. And now we're going to be getting to the desktop very soon. This is looking good. Yeah, this is exciting. Should probably do a YouTube video, but I'm kind of too lazy for that. All right. Now, I'm okay if it sits here for a minute or two, but I really don't want it taking longer than that. We have roughly, what did we start at? 104. So we are officially 4 minutes in the install right here. I would prefer this to sit here for maybe 1 minute, and then I want it to hit the desktop. Yeah, we've completely removed the out-of-box experience. Come on. Maybe? There it is. 4 minutes, 50 seconds. Desktop. What's up? Under 5 minutes. Pretty clean. We left all the Xbox, your phone, the stuff that people wanted. I mean, honestly, if it was my way, I would have just stripped it all out. But it's all there. Ready to rock. You'll even notice... Did I even remove Edge out of here? I think I did. No, dude, we don't even have Edge. Yeah, it was a little extreme. Now, I think the final product will have Edge, but that's pretty funny. Let's see if how this works. Since we're not logged into a Microsoft account, this may fail. I'm kind of curious. How much space? Probably 17 gigs. I'm going to say 17 gigs. Oh, 12 gigs. Yeah, 12 gigs for the final run. Yeah, it shows it's installed, but it's not. That's fine. The final product it'll have it here. I went ahead and removed that section of the code. So we can launch the WinUtil, and then we'd select, let's say, a browser out of here. We'll do it real fast. And then we'll check updates as well. So here's our tweaks. Let's just do like Brave. We'll hit install. It's grabbing the dependencies in the behind the scenes. Let's see if all this works. Yeah, we'll try Edge real fast. Oh, I guess I should have installed Edge, but whatever. I kind of want to see if Winget works. Yeah, well, we're gonna give the option. The idea behind this, guys, is not for me to make the decision for you. It's to give you a blank canvas, and then all you do is install whatever browser you want. Think of like how Windows 7 was. You installed Windows 7, you had a blank desktop, a blank start menu, and then you just installed the stuff that you wanted. That's the whole premise here. Nothing else. We're not going to get fancy with it. We're not going to do any kind of crazy automation, install a whole bunch of stuff for you. It's just a blank canvas is what this is. All right. So cool. Installation done. Close out of here. Now we have a blank Windows ready to rock with just simple, plain Jane start menu. No extra apps. These are all just baked in apps. I did strip out some provision packages that I thought were really stupid, like To Do and that stuff. If you really want anything stupid, like the mail or any of that, you can just come into the Microsoft Store, pick it out, and go. Now, if you do want to reinstall Edge, I want to say download Microsoft Edge. You probably will need to do it from here because I want to say Winget won't. Well, let's try it. Let's go. Okay. So let's go Edge. And I'm kind of curious. What does this install look like? I'm not sure. Sometimes Winget fails to install Edge, so I'm kind of curious just to see if this works. Yeah, everything in my toolbox is using Windows commands and baked in Windows utilities. I do not rely on any third-party or third-party downloads. So there's nothing I'm using other than what Microsoft supplies me to do what I just did. That's it. That's all you need to do. All right, that looked like it worked. So, yeah, there you go. There's your Edge. Have fun with that. Good Lord. Gross. All right, well, let's delete this. Oh, let's check updates real fast. That was the last thing as well. And I think we have a really good spot now. So if you do want to change like the accounts, you can come into accounts. And let's say you want to change this. You can just go your info. I want to say manage my accounts. Oh my gosh. They did everything. No, bro. Sure. They forced everybody online. Screwball. Thanks for the super chat. The funniest thing I had in Windows XP was a custom ISO, which removed IE. Yeah, Internet Exploder from the back in the day. I love it. So yeah, Uh, changing the local account you can't do from in here, I guess. Did they remove that? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess you can go into, so I guess I should make I think I have it in my toolbox actually. So if you do want to change your account, let's just show this. I want to make sure it's capable of just using a mouse to kind of do this instead of typing commands in. So we'll go tweaks, config actually, user accounts. And then from here, you should be able to, oh, actually, I think we got to go advanced user management, don't we? Not the best, but you know. So let's say we do Titus, or let's change it from user to subscribe, right? And you can actually change like descriptions. You can change passwords. This is kind of what you got. You can also do, I think it's to push this up, you go ULS R MGR. So local user, it's system, let's see. Yeah, local users and groups, LUSR, and MGR for manager. And I want to say that's MSC. Yeah, that's what it is. I'll put like a hot link to this probably. I'll probably change it from the standard users to this one so people can get to it easier. But anyways, you can change the name from that to there, and let's just give it a reboot, and then we'll look at the updates. Let's also see just reboot speed. That's another thing I kind of want to do. So here you go. So you see the username, it changed from user to subscribe, doing the lusrmgr.msc. Now let's look at our updates. What does that do to us? So we're going to just go here, go settings. We're going to just pretend like we're a normal user. So we're just browsing around. Let's go check updates, see if there's a cumulative update. It'd be hilarious if it said it's up to date. Yeah, no, there it is. So now you got a cumulative update coming down. You have a security intelligence update for Defender, malicious software removal. You have a .NET update that's happening, and then an anti-malware platform, which is like SecHealth. And yeah, that's it. So let's let this run real fast. I want to see how much it installs and if it rebloats it up on the cumulative update. I don't think it will on a cumulative update. I think it's only on a feature update. So moving from like 23H2 to 24H2 would do it. Cumulative updates are a whole bunch of updates packaged into one. So think of it as like 10 updates in one kind of thing. It's kind of in the name, cumulative. So usually those take a long time. You see how it's downloading still? Let's look at our speed on the download. It's kind of a curious thing too. If we look at performance, Ethernet, let's see what our down speed is. Should be receiving real sporadic here. I think it's waiting for the install of the other one before finishing the download. There we go. Now you can see that cumulative, it's pulling down. Yeah, and I think that's the way to go, Zero. You gotta do just a blank canvas for folks so they can choose what they want. So we already have almost all of them completed. The install here has actually gone pretty darn fast. Now, having said that, cumulative updates usually take upwards of about 5 to 10 minutes. Let's see how long this update takes us. Process count still is probably going to be about, I'm going to say 110. Yeah, 135 right now. Probably because we got this running in the background, and we also probably launched like a Chrome or something in the background as well. We still didn't do the VM optimizations either. So this is an unoptimized VM, so we can make this run faster. If we look at our device manager, which is another thing we should probably do after a system update, or actually probably before, you can see we're missing stuff. So let's just come up here and let's say we do, oh, what are we gonna grab? Let's grab QEMU, guest tools, Windows. All right, and guest agent. I think Proxmox had the link last time, didn't it? Oh man, every single time I'm like, where's that link? It's always, I think it's like fedorapeople.org. Okay, vert.io drivers. Okay, yeah. Download latest stable. Download most recent. I think you can Download most recent, latest. Okay, here we go. And then let's just grab the exe tools. It's kind of a weird spot. I think we should be able to cull this and then pull it direct using in just a script. So I think what I'll do is write a script for grabbing QEMU tools as well. Run that anyways, please. And then install. Next. Probably shouldn't do this while we're installing updates, but whatever. Same. All right, cool. All right, so now we've got our optimization done on the QEMU side of things. Everything looks good there. We could probably do the tweaks as well, but I kind of want to just see what the cumulative update does to us before we get crazy with any kind of extra tweaks, as this is just a stock layout from Microwin. So usually I just hide these, get rid of excess junk. Let's see what Windows Update's doing. Sure. Still installing a cumulative update. Let's go 1080p on our screen. All right, we got that. Go full screen with that. Beautiful. So there we go. We're roughly about, not too bad actually. I think it's going pretty fast for a cumulative update. I'm just kind of curious to see if they bundled in any extra software or anything on the cumulative. It shouldn't be, but you never know. It doesn't work with other ISO languages. Unknown entity, it should. I believe Coding Wonders helped code that portion of it. Originally, it was only English. And then I think a whole bunch of PRs came through. Windows 10, it may, but I'm not going to optimize for Windows 10. Windows 11 is going to be what I optimize for now, because that's what most people will install. Do you plan to add more features similar to NT Lite? I think NT Lite has its time and place, like adding a whole bunch of stuff. We already have a driver injection, much like NT Lites, but I don't want to add any programs or any extra bloat to it. The idea from Microwin is in the title. I want a micro version of Windows. And really what Microwin's supposed to do is just give you a very minimal footprint and a clean canvas to start with. Thanks for the super chat, Zero. Oh, nice. Good to have you back, man. Just add a feature to remove Edge. That's all we need. Yeah, we already have Rezo. That's it's pretty much there. I think we could do another install if we wanted, as this was less than 5 minutes on the full to desktop, which is great. But what about Windows 12? Well, we'll tackle that whenever we get there. Cross that bridge when we come to it. I'm wanting to learn Linux and use it full time. What would you recommend to start on? You know, it just depends on your background. If you come from like an IT background and you're already familiar with a little bit of Linux, I'd say Arch. If it's your first version of Linux, I probably would recommend Debian. Debian's a little kinder on that, or maybe even Linux Mint, depending on where you want to start, how much you want your hand held with a GUI components. But at the end of the day, I think really learning like terminal and those types of things are a big deal. Okay, so we're still good night. All right, come on. We're still rocking. Yeah, Ubuntu's what a lot of people start with as well. I just don't like the snaps from Ubuntu, but it's decent. Yeah, and like if you use Edge too and you're using Microwin too, just to chime in here, you don't have to worry too much about that. You can just reinstall Edge. I mean, just launch WinUtil and click install Edge, and you're good to go. And I don't know, we'll relaunch as well and just see, but I want to say we're not going to really be messing too much with Edge. Most of this is just a blank canvas to start with. I think when the stock Edge experience from Windows, I think is an AppX, and I think we purged the provisioned AppX, and that's why you don't see Edge on this machine. It's installed, but it's not installed kind of thing. And a simple install from Winget will fix that, or you just install the browser of your choice. I think it's fine in its current state. Have you tested CatchyOS? Nah, I'm kind of good on a lot of that stuff. I'm like CatchyOS is just TKG kernel optimizations on Arch. A lot of Linux distributions you'll learn is just a fork with their own customizations. Think of it like downloading Windows ISO that has programs already installed on it. That's essentially what Linux distributions are. just variations of different system configurations of Linux with extra crap on it. How much extra crap and what kind of crap it is just the only difference between your Linux distributions. People like to go, oh, there's 1,000 different distributions. This one's better than this one. And I'm like, I don't care. Just put me on Linux. At the end of the day, it all works the same. The only 3 distributions that matter, Arch, Fedora, and Debian. Yeah, from a desktop perspective, I think Starman's pretty much right. You have your RHEL-based distro, you have your Arch-based distro, and you have your Debian-based distros. And then everything else is just kind of nuance. There's a couple little more niche products like NixOS, which I love. That's unique, that everything's configured in the system from one configuration file, configuration.nix, which is neat. You have your atomic distros like Bazite, which is like an immutable distro, kind of, with some nuance where you can change system configuration through the etc folder. You have full-blown immutable distributions like SteamOS, which are pretty cool. But yeah, for the most part, I'm not really that worried about it. It's all definitely interesting. And like I said, OpenSUSE is also another one. Yeah, that's its own deal as well. But I you know, I like all the Linux distros. There's really not any distro I'm like, I can't believe that. I might call them the devil or some tongue-in-cheek name or something like that. But at the end of the day, I really don't care. You can put me on any of them, and I'm like, okay, well, I can live here. At least it's not Windows. You know, that's usually my thought process is, well, at least it's not Windows. I'm good. I mean, true. Like on Thursday's stream, I'm gonna be just so happy. I'm like, it's good to be out of Windows. I've been in Windows for the last couple of days on the last several streams, so I love me some Linux, man. All Linux, it's nice. Some more than others, but at the end of the day, it all feels the same to me. All right, so we've rebooted. We've installed all our updates. You can see we don't have any extra bloat. Let's rerun those updates one more time, just to make sure. Hey, Mr. Updates, what do we got? Are we up to date? Are we helping save the environment and reducing carbon emissions by just clicking to check updates? Please tell me, Master. What are we at? How are we doing? No, we still got more updates. Okay, let's just update those then. I thought WinUtil streams were Windows hate-free. Oh, man, I don't know whatever gave you that impression. Anytime you're working on Windows, man, you're gonna hear some curse words come out of my mouth. Unless, of course, I have like a good beverage near hand, but it's not 5 o'clock yet, so yeah, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna usually trash Windows a bit. All right, let's give it another reboot. See if we get latest up to date. I want to get the green checkbox and then have everything nice and clear. Nothing is Windows hate-free. Yeah, well, I mean, the more I'm in Windows, the more I curse it. Yeah, and usually, let's say I'm in Linux for like an extended period of time, there's still like an old familiarity with Windows. Not to just like bash on Windows all the time. There's a nice thing where I come back to Windows after being away for some time. I'm like, oh, yeah, this isn't so bad. I mean, Windows is okay. And then I'm like on it for like a week or two or something. And then I'm like, there's little things that just kind of jab at me. Just keep poking at me. You know, it's like little things like these updates just kind of come through at the wrong time. Or my CPU spikes and I'm not doing anything. And I'm just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. And I mean, I can, mind you, I can tweak and optimize Windows better than most. Better than a lot of people. And it's still like little things happen that I'm kind of like, oh, that didn't feel good at all. And that's just like the Windows experience. Now, having said that, let's see. We should have a great starting spot. Windows updates should be all up to date. Checking updates. And this should come back clear. Probably come back clear. Should come back clear. We'll see. Oh, Arch Titus does not work at all, very well at all for anybody, except for me doing a server install. Hey, look at that. We are golden. Windows is set up perfect. No bloat. Well, as much as you can't have bloat in Windows. All the settings are there. We've already done like some customizations. Everything looks good. Now, we haven't actually done any of the tweaks yet. So right now we are sitting at 127 processes. So what I usually would do, let's launch old WinUtil. We'll do a standard tweak. A couple little things I like to do on an install. I'll just show how I would set it up. We have our like browser of choice, whichever one you want to rock. Come into tweaks, standard. I like to change Windows Terminal to PowerShell 7. Looks just better. You can do debloat Edge or even uninstall Edge down here. So if you wanted to remove Edge, this is actually working now. I usually just say remove OneDrive too, just for that. And then remove Home and Gallery from Explorer. I think that's about... Oh, and then classic right-click menu. I think that's good. And also disabling Microsoft Copilot. It's not really enabled right now, but it will get enabled soon. And those are the tweaks I enjoy the most. So we'll set that. It'll run a system restore point, kind of clean up and just kind of change a few things. And then we'll have a really nice base install. Oh no, Shutup's just there. All it does is download the Oh no, Shutup tool and runs it. So it just tosses it in the temp folder and runs Oh no, Shutup. So if you want to run Oh no, Shutup, you can, but totally optional. It used to be part of the step in here, but we've removed Oh no, Shutup in favor of our own policies that the community and everybody has kind of put in. So you can see everything happening and what's getting set back here. So if there is something that you're like, hey, I don't like this tweak, you can make an issue about it. We could always review it. And then, contributors, me, everybody can just kind of go, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and clean this up. When do you think WinUtil will peak, Chris? I have no idea. Honestly, it's shocking to me to see how far Windows utility has come. Because initially, the funny part about this and why these streams, these last couple days of streaming the Microwin has been a little nostalgic for me, because the whole Windows utility was built initially as a CLI script that I ran in business. And the CLI script didn't have any user interaction. I just did it for a YouTube video. I was like, oh crap, I'm on that content treadmill on YouTube. I got to get a video out. And I was like, I'll just grab one of those scripts that I did already and we'll just make it more generic so everyone else can use it. So then people ran the script and they're like, hey, we really like this. This did make Windows a lot more bearable, but I kind of want to be able to install programs, or I kind of want to be able to do this. And I kind of want to do it through a GUI. And it kind of went off. And why I'm saying I'm kind of nostalgic is because it was a little bit full circle the last couple days, because the script was actually meant to run on a first run. It was meant to actually be run in that final unintended step. So as you're sitting there waiting, the script would actually run in the background. So now it's actually all come all the way back around. Screwball, thanks for the super chat, man. On Windows, I do not install software. Just use sysmenu and download pullable versions of the apps I need and have it ready. That's pretty good style, man. I like that. I actually used to do a portable install on a USB drive where you could actually install all your apps on the USB drive. You plug it into the system and then you could just launch your apps from the USB drive. It was great for like cleaning up systems back in the day. Are there any distros for enterprise with controlled DOM policy mechanisms for defense? Instead of Windows Server. Yeah, Nigvol, you can use, God bless, what is it? I'm drawing a blank. Is it Zyfrol? Oh, geez, this is a weird name. Let's pull it up while this is running. I want to say it was like Zyfrol Active Directory. What was that? Was it Zypher? No, I'm drawing a blank. Linux. No, it wasn't Zypher, I don't think. Geez, I don't remember. Linux Active Directory. Let's see. Let's just Linux product. No, no, no. Yeah, there was a management console. I remember I set it up once. But frankly, you know, most of the world still runs on Windows Active Directory. God bless. I can't remember what the heck it was. Zenthal. That was it. Thank you, chat. Thanks, my drift. Zen... Man, talk about a terrible name. Anyways. Yeah, it's an easy Linux server solution and an alternative to Windows Server. So if you are interested, check that out. If you want to try and go away from the Windows Server. I do caution you, though. It's not the same as Windows Server, and frankly, as a guy with like 15 different Windows Server certifications, I'd rather just use Windows Server if I'm managing Windows systems. If everything's Linux, great, but chances are if it's a business, you're dealing with Windows. And when dealing with management of Windows, it's best to just use Windows Server. Using something like this, probably more headache than it's worth, if you ask my honest opinion. That's it. I would still just use Windows Server. But if, let's say, you do get the sign off and you want to go full Linux, then I'd probably look into something like that. Why use Brave, not Thorn? I don't care. I mean, at this point, I'm at the stage where I'm just like, hey, it's all good. I don't care on the browser side of friends. Most browsers just disappoint me. Now, the boot manager, we might change that as well. Some people aren't going to like the fact that you have the boot options there at the start. I think that is a tweak we did. I don't mind it, but I think probably some users might not enjoy that. Can I use Microwin for Windows Server? I don't know if I would trust. I'd trust that. Yes, Gaming Evolution. That's actually what we used. We used the unattended generator from that website, and then I just kind of stole little bits and pieces. The things I wanted to put into the unattended. Now, the moment of truth. Hell yeah. 68 processes. The only thing that would be better there, 69 processes. Perfect. I think it's complete. Oh, damn it. Windows. Then it drops off. That's a win. I think we got it. That's just beautiful. The absolute beautiful end to Microwin. We'll put a dev branch available to everybody. So if you do want to make this and test it out, you can. So let's shut this down. I think this is exactly what we wanted to do with Microwin. Kind of cleaned up a ton of stuff today. Let's come on over here and see recent commits. We have 43 minutes fixed per. So we did a bunch of Microwin setup here. Did we finish the commit on everything? I think we did. So let's just do we have any other actions here? Probably a couple things I wanted to look at. I know edge removal improvements from my drift was one I kind of wanted to push on here too. Oh, I think there was one thing I didn't like about this, and I think it was the web view portion of it. Let's see. That's fine. The param removing these items are okay. And policies are good. Same with that. Whenever you get, this is actually a fun, something I kind of want to like point out. This line right here, removing under HKLM or hotkey, or actually let's highlight this so everyone can do it in chat. If you do watch this, because you might run into this, under the local machine software policies, Microsoft Edge, anything that's specified, or if you have any keys in here, that's an organization policy. So when it says this setting's managed by your organization, it's in here. It's in this path. So what you can do is just remove the entire Edge path, and that setting will go away, and then you can change it. So if you ever do run into that, just FYI, one way to fix. The function uninstall web view, I kind of want to remove that entire function. I don't want to ever have anybody uninstall WebView. That's something that causes way more problems, and I don't want emails to me about, hey, I can't install Visual Studio, or I'm running into problems launching my Microsoft Store game, and that's why I will probably just edit this, actually. Let's go Uninstall Edge, uninstall WebView. So where's that called? Let's look. Uninstall Edge and Edge. Let's look. Yeah. Okay, it's currently commented out. Yeah, someone already did that. All right. Yeah, that's good. We can leave it like that. I'm fine. It's not currently active. But cancel changes. That looks great. Drift user always usually has a good PRs. Where am I at? What am I doing? All right, there we go. WinUtil. So that one, the edge removal improvements, I think is needed. Let's just approve that. That looks great. And then let's squash and merge. So we got that. Let's go to pull requests, minor changes, UI install tab. What do we have here? Oh yeah, this search icon kind of covering things up. That's actually kind of needed. Also under the issue related to this PR, please put the following resolves that. So when the PR is merged, it will close the correct issues. That looks like it's almost ready to be merged, but I don't know if we want to. Oh, no, he did. 2506, 2542. Yeah, he updated it. And looking at the code, very solid. It's a good PR. Nice. Okay, so we got that in. Is there anything else we want to push? I want to say run admin as well. PSY, I think, did this. So I actually removed this once upon a time. This used to be a self-elevation, and then I removed it because antiviruses were flagging my script. And then I was like, I don't know if antiviruses actually scan scripts. This might be a little too big brother for people in chat, but I'm not certain antiviruses do much in the way of actually scanning. It feels like there's just a global database that looks at extended validation certs and approved publishers, and anything that's not part of that list, that approved list, just gets flagged as a virus. I do not think they actually have much logic to detect viruses. As I've dealt more with the software industry the past year or two, it looks like that's just how it works. It's kind of wild. I think most viruses and virus scans don't do a very good job. Now, having said that, there are good security products. I'm not saying that there's not. But from a virus scan point, there's not much scanning going on there. You look at, in the business realm, there are security products like Huntress, Blackpoint, CrowdStrike, Sentinel-1. There's security products that do a lot for scanning the network and looking for threats and attack surfaces, and those do a pretty good job. But as far as antiviruses, and the idea that these programs run constantly on systems and then are looking at how programs are executed and they're scanning for malicious code, I don't think that's a thing. Very little actually gets scanned, I think. It looks like now, most of the times, they're just doing a check and saying, hey, did this developer pay $1,000 for a 3-year extended validation cert so they're an approved publisher? No? Well, let's just flag them as a virus. It's what it feels like to me. It really is. After dealing with the shenanigans over the past year or two, I mean, that's what it is with my script, at least. I know they're not scanning or doing any logic behind it, so I'm not doing anything bad. And you can see this too when you saw it today, actually. We just did it. You know who doesn't have an extended validation and is an amazing product? QEMU. Our virtualization. You remember when we installed the Windows guest host? All those guest host drivers, they weren't extended. They didn't have any extended validation. So it basically flagged it as a virus. I don't know if most people caught that during the stream, but I had to sit there and bypass it and say, yes, allow this. Yes, that's not a virus. Go ahead and run it. But it obviously never scanned anything. So it kind of brings me back to my point. Are antiviruses actually scanning anything? Surely they'd have to be scanning something, but they're not scanning very much. It's kind of wild. That's all I'm saying. Because in Mac And I don't know on Mac on actually what that looks like. They probably have their own deal. But on Linux, it's a whole different ball game, whole different scans. A lot of different things happen over there that is just totally different from Windows. Anyways, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I'm just, something I noticed. I was just like, all right. All right, so catch that. That's fine. All right. And that's it. So it's just elevating off the run. I like this. Let's approve it, submit, and we will merge. Oh, do not merge this now. Breaks the one-liner launcher. Oh, does it? Oh, geez. Well, thanks, PSY, for checking that. Good thing I went on that long rant about antivirus. I totally would have merged that. That's funny. I kind of want to merge it just to see what happens now. I kind of want to do it. I think it will work just fine. I don't know. Maybe I'm chaotic evil a little bit, but I wonder. I'm looking at the code. It actually looks pretty good. I mean, if it breaks the one-line launcher, I wonder how it breaks it. Why not? I mean, it's not really a bad idea. What does it do? Why would it not work? So it just starts the process under process parameters. Where's the elevation? So it checks for elevation. If not, runs elevation. Use modern PowerShell if available. Has a PowerShell executable. Is it Friday? Oh, it's only a Tuesday. Hey, this is the same day Microsoft does its updates. Squash and merge time. Let's do it. I'm for breaking something. Do not do it. Oh, I'm dying. I am dying. All right. Oh, that was funny. PSY. Oh, God. That is hilarious. Yeah, I'll wait for them to submit the fix for it. That's hysterical. I'm dying. All right, let's make us a pre-release so we can finalize our micro win of the day. We'll go pre-release WinUtil. Let's go ahead and run the workflow. And then we'll test the dev branch and see what we have. So let's delete this one. All right, and we'll launch old WinUtil. Here comes the new fresh pre-release. Hot off the presses. Building run space. Computing. All right, looks good. Let's check our releases. We should have our new WinDev. You can see the pre-release, what has changed. There's all this. Just a ton of Microwin changes. I don't really have... I need to do a PR for this stuff. I keep forgetting I'm a terrible developer. Just awful. I need to stop just pushing everything to main. One of these days, I'll get better. All right. And that's good. Now, what we can do... let's go dev branch. So we'll just do the IRM WinDev to launch this. Stable branch is still running normal. So we'll go here, terminal with admin, and then we just go IRM christitus.com/WinDev IEX. And here we go. And just double check. 8/13, that's today. We've got that guy in. Thanks to all the sponsors that continually sponsoring Windows Utility month in and month out. You guys are amazing. And anybody that's bought the $10 executable, I want to say thank you all. And with that, let's just do it live one last time just to... Oh, where's this going? Let's put this new Microwin. Just call it Microwin. Oh. Select Windows ISO. I wonder what happens if we don't fill in the scratch directory. Let's do that. Let's do a different configuration this time and see what happens. Well, so Zossie Mouse, Edge actually gets removed in the current version. It's just gone. So what ended up happening with Edge is it integrated in too many spots. So when I was actually stripping out all the bloat, Edge actually was part of the provisioned app exploit. I never actually went back in and omitted it. So Edge still gets removed. I mean, does it get removed properly? Not really, but it doesn't really cause any problems, so I'm just gonna leave it. You know, if you want to install Edge, it's on you. It pretty much removes it, so I'm like, good enough. And it's a very non-destructive way of removing it. I don't think very many people will miss it, and those that do just can launch my utility and just say, click install Edge, install. So a very easy thing to get back. Doesn't mess with anything, and that's kind of what we wanted to do. So let's leave all this blank. What happens if we just start the process and go Microwin? So we're not even going to change anything. I wonder where it's going. Mounting image. But where is that going to extract? Oh, it puts it in the temp directory if you don't actually specify the scratch directory. Cool. So there's error checking built into it. Yeah. So all this works great. And this is the dev branch. So we'll give it a test. I'll look for any issues over the next day or two, probably towards the end of the week. I think we'll do a crowd strike and push to prod on a Friday. So we'll push the dev branch to the main release, latest release on Friday. I feel like Friday's a good day to do that. I think that'll be fun. Make sure your regex is wrong. Yeah. Well, Michael, we have finished. It is all good to go. So, yes, it is possible. We have achieved the nigh impossible feat of debloating Windows ISO in a very simple manner. All you have to do is click Microwin, select ISO, select the ISO from Microsoft.com, hit go. That's it. And then you just output it, and then it'll auto do all the rest of the stuff that you've seen today. You won't have any of the bloat. You won't have anything. It'll be a fresh canvas, just like Windows 7 was on a fresh install. We have done. We have peaked with this. Oh, man. Yeah, if we did a crowd strike, we'd have to push directly to the latest right now. Not even have a dev branch. Because you got to remember, CrowdStrike ignored the dev branch or the staged portion of it. What was it? I think it was considered like stage 2 or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it was. Best way to remove telemetry. I don't think you can really remove all of telemetry. I usually just set it to security and minimize any reporting back to Microsoft. So it shouldn't track your keystrokes, browsing history, that type of thing. So most of the telemetry gets shut off with my toolbox, but you still have some security telemetry that phones home, like it's just part of the apps that are installed on your system. So there's a baked in telemetry to like the Microsoft Store. There might be some baked in telemetry to just like settings usage and that type of thing. But that you can't get rid of that. It's just part of Windows. I still kind of feel like Edge is not removed in Microwin. Zossi Mouse, if you really want to get rid of it, you could always do the uninstall Edge in the other one too. So there is an uninstalled portion of this. I don't think I can actually do it here because we're right in the middle of the tweaks, but there is under the tweaks tab, an uninstall Edge one now. We worked on that last week where it switches the region to Ireland, which is in the EU, and then it just simply uninstalls Edge using standard methods, and then it switches your region back to wherever your host country is, that it records before switching, and then that's it. You're good to go. So if Edge is still installed, which I'm sure they'll change their ISO or change where it's located, so it will reinstall Edge at some point in time, you can just click tweaks, uninstall Edge, and you're good to go. Very, very clean way of doing it. And also, if someone needs to reinstall Edge, I didn't do anything special. All we did was just an uninstall. And it's a very good, non-intrusive way of getting rid of it. Can I use Microwin on Mac OS? Nah, you have to have some kind of Windows environment. You could always do it in a VM, like load up Parallels and then launch it in a Windows VM and then make it. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I am in Linux. I mean, it's just a VM that we're using. So So yeah, pick your poison. I mean, virtual machines are amazing for what they do. Could you do a more in-depth video on removing spyware? Not really. Like when it comes to spyware, here's the thing. You have to be extremely technically adept to be able to get rid of spyware. And typically the people that are attracted to the removal of spyware are crazy. And I don't like talking to them or interacting with that crowd or that audience. They're nuts. I've made security videos in the past, and in the end, a lot of times it's very frustrating to deal with that person. And it's because these people will go to like these great lengths to do the craziest thing, and then they'll just pull out their iPhone or their Android, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what's the purpose of any of this? Like, you've completely negated it just by using an Android or an iOS device. You're making my brain hurt. Or there's a lot of people that think you can strip out all of telemetry in Windows and just completely run with a fresh, nothing's getting reported back to Microsoft and I'm using Windows. Doesn't exist. Never gonna exist. Telemetry is baked into almost every single executable that Microsoft runs. As soon as you connect to the internet, it's phoning home to Microsoft. You just can't do it. You can minimize it, but you can't get rid of it. It's just not a thing. Period. Full stop. If you're interested in security, learn Linux, learn about compartmentalization, standard security hygiene. You can pull up, something, first start with Tails OS because it's probably the easiest from a security standpoint. Very good platform to start with. But then you're going to need to get into compartmentalization, and then you need to get into something like Cubes. Cubes is possible. Cubes OS is where, that's what Edward Snowden would use. And these are the people that are spying on you. He was an NSA researcher, and he has a lot of really good papers out if you're interested in this type of thing. But for people that think you can remove and make Windows secure with no reporting, no telemetry, you're wrong. You're an idiot if you think that's a thing, because there isn't. It isn't even remotely possible. We can minimize it. We can mitigate it, but you cannot get rid of telemetry in Windows 100%. It's just not possible. And that's where I end that. And that's why I don't make security videos. I will just piss a bunch of people off. But at the end of the day, I do tell the truth. That's the thing. And I would be much better if I didn't. It'd be a lot more entertaining probably. And I probably could sell a whole bunch more garbage like most security firms do on Windows, because man, is it a lucrative industry. But I don't care. Yeah, it's funny. Like, why were you paranoid at 14? I see some of the younger people in the audience, and I don't mean to call you guys out. And I'm not meaning to insult you. I feel for a lot of the younger generation. I think back to when I was a teenager with no smartphones. Nobody was taking pictures or recordings or social media or any of that crap that didn't exist. And God bless. Thank God it wasn't. I had some fun times, and I'm really happy nothing from that era is documented from all the stupid things I did during my teenage years. So, I feel for a lot of the younger generation when it comes to some of this stuff. I don't say this stuff to dishearten you or discourage you from being security conscious. It's almost impossible to do in today's day and age with living in a city with everyone having a smartphone. We had actual privacy, and it just doesn't exist today. There's only the illusion of privacy. Yeah, but it's a very attractive thing. Like, I get that it's there, but I mean, you have to have a whole bunch of money. You'd have to buy a huge swath of land in the middle of nowhere, probably, and move out. And even then, man, I don't even know. With satellite imagery and so much stuff that happens, I mean, privacy is just such a tricky thing. It really is. Screwball. Even the most secure systems has people's as a failure point. And this is true. That's exactly right. And I'm not above it. Like, I could see myself falling for a variety of different social engineering scams that you can get. There's some very good ones out there right now. Now, mind you, I'm not as bad as Linus Tech Tips on that, but I don't think I'm above reproach in in falling for a scam. But I have seen quite a few scams, and more so as my social profile has increased. All right, well, I think this dev branch is solid. I don't think we really need to do anything else. So let's see what the final count is with this ISO. What is the best way to install Arch Linux the noobiest way possible? Probably just using the Calamari's installer. Just do the Arch install and walking through. Or actually ArchFi is what I learned on. I loved ArchFi. I still love ArchFi. If you're unfamiliar with ArchFi, it's actually, I did a Arch install video using it. I think it's ArchFi SourceForge, I think is where it's at. Arch Linux fast install. It was an ArchFi script. I think you can just do wget archfi.sf.net archfi, and then just run the script, and then just sh archfi to launch. And then it has a nice little layout. I still like the ArchFi script a lot. Is this even updated anymore? I haven't used it in a long time. Yeah, last modified in 2022. You could try it out still. I bet it still works pretty good. I always liked this one. It's like a simple whiptail script. Yeah, 2 years ago. Feels bad, man. That's still one of my favorite Arch install scripts. I haven't used it in a long time, though. Yeah, I think we will drift. I think we will definitely add linutil. So on Thursday's stream, we're going to do linutil. We're going to do... Let's do some Arch Linux work. I think we can add an Arch Linux installer to it. We can look at the past installer. It's pretty solid. And I think get that set up, which would be nice. Yeah, we actually had to do a Arch Linux install the hard way on this system when I installed it. What was it? Well, I can tell you when I installed it, actually. 108 days ago, when we did the install script on stream, this is what we did. We did it the hard way. We had to do everything line by line because I had a few hard drives and the Arch scripts like literally died. They were like, wait a second, you have 8 different disks. You have an MD rated array using traditional hard drives. You have some bunch of little SSDs. Then you got your NVMe drives, and then you have multiple OSs loaded among all of that. So we actually did it the hard way. What, 3 months ago? All right. Well, that was cool. All right, neat. So we got it. We got our desktop set, and if we go on the desktop, you can see dropped about a gig off of the full-blown ISO from Microsoft, which is great. Here, we'll paste this guy in. This will be the final one. Let's get rid of that new Microwin. We'll delete it. That was 5.7, and this one I think will end up being 5.9, I think is what it was. Let's see what the final tally was. Dennis, thanks for the tier 1, man. Yeah, so final tally is 5.9. So this one probably did include Edge, where we're removing it before. And I'm okay with that. We can flip-flop back and forth, and it's easy to uninstall Edge with just the WinUtil. Just click it, uninstall, go. Either way, either or. It's all good. Yeah, I still can't burn it to a CD. Blu-rays. That's funny. So yeah, what a great stream. We got through it. We've submitted it to the dev branch. Let me know if you guys have any issues. Just run irmchristitis.com/dev in your Windows box. You can make your own ISO, run it. Should be super fast and reminiscent of a Windows 7 install from yesteryear. Completely free of bloat, and it looks really solid. So I think we'll probably do that. We might tweak it a little bit, but I want to kind of just see after this big revamp where we go with it. We'll probably make the installer a little more user-friendly, but frankly, all the options that are there shouldn't really interfere with anything. So I think we're fine. I think we can just rock with whatever we're doing there. When will the changes make it to stable? If I don't hear anything by Friday, Parvras, I think we will push it to the latest release on Friday, pending any kind of big issue. If someone does have a big issue, we might pull it till then. But I think Friday makes the most sense because the big changes out of this update has been Microwin, and the old Microwin sucked. It just was not quite there, especially with some of the changes Microsoft's made in the past year, where this one addresses all those changes that it's made and makes it very streamlined, very minimal, and a good Windows install, as good as it can be, at least. So there we go. And heck, I might jump the gun. I might have told you Friday that I'll probably do it on Thursday just to slip it in there early. Just a little preview. A lot of times I'm like, let's just push it to the latest now. I think it'll be fine. But all right, y'all. Have a fantastic evening, and I will see you on Thursday. We will tackle the Linux toolbox and get going, and probably check in with old Microwin later in the week. See how everybody's liking it. I think it'll be a big help to so many. So, deuces.